As I approached the bayou haunting, I couldn't help but feel an overwhelming sense of trepidation. The mansion stood as a menacing sentinel, casting long shadows that seemed to reach out and grab at my very soul. The legends of the Voss family, their gruesome experiments, and their malevolent spirits weighed heavily on my mind. The gate groaned open, and I began my solitary journey along the lantern-lit path. Each flickering light seemed to beckon me further into the darkness, pulling me into the abyss. With every step, the air grew colder, and an inexplicable feeling of dread settled over me like a suffocating shroud. The doll room was my first descent into horror. As I entered, the antique dolls with their hollow, lifeless eyes suddenly sprang to life. Their eerie laughter and whispered tales of despair and agony sent chills down my spine. I felt like an intruder in a world where life and death mingled, and the boundary between reality and the supernatural disintegrated. The bloody parlor was my next torment. Inside, the spectral poker game unfolded before my eyes. The Voss family and their ghostly guests argued and played with phantom cards. It was as if time had frozen, and I was an unwilling witness to their ceaseless torment. My heart raced, and I couldn't escape the feeling that I was an intruder in their twisted world. The Voss crypt was the culmination of my nightmare. Coffins lined the walls, and the air grew heavy with malevolent energy. The spirits of the Voss family emerged, their hollow eyes filled with torment. Their wails pierced my soul, and I was paralyzed with fear. I was trapped in a nightmarish tableau, surrounded by the restless souls of the deceased. My ordeal concluded in the fog-shrouded swamp, where the line between the living and the dead blurred. The croaking of frogs and the mysterious creatures lurking beneath the murky water created an atmosphere of pure terror. It felt as though I had ventured into a realm where the supernatural met reality, and the very fabric of my existence was unraveling. I stumbled out of the bayou haunting, trembling and scarred by the horrors I had witnessed. The legends of the Voss family had become my reality, and their malevolence would forever haunt my nightmares. I had survived the bayou haunting, but it had left an indelible mark on my soul, ensuring that I would never be the same again. The boundary between the living and the dead had blurred, and I had glimpsed the abyss of darkness that lay beyond. It was a moonless night when I dared to tread the path to the Phantom Manor, an enigmatic haunted house attraction concealed deep within the shadowed heart of the Colorado Rockies. The tales that whispered through the town had both terrified and intrigued me, promising a journey that would leave an indelible mark on my soul. The Phantom Manor stood as a colossal sentinel, its grandeur marred by the shroud of darkness that clung to its every stone. The mansion had witnessed generations come and go, but its legacy was eternally etched in the supernatural. It was said to be a place where the veil between the living and the dead was gossamer thin. The imposing oak door groaned open as I ventured forth, and it was as if the very house sighed with anticipation of its next victim. Inside, I was enveloped by an inky darkness, the flickering candlelight guiding me further into the abyss. An ethereal chill permeated the air, and I could swear I heard the hushed whispers of 1,000 souls, as if the mansion itself yearned to tell its story. My journey through the Phantom Manor was a descent into a realm of the macabre. The forsaken ballroom was my first stop, where phantom couples danced in a spectral waltz. Their hollow eyes locked onto me, and I felt an overwhelming sense of longing and sorrow as I bore witness to their eternal dance. In the haunted library, I encountered spectral librarians who, with skeletal hands, pulled dusty tomes from the shelves. The books seemed to tell their own stories, pages turning as if guided by unseen forces. It was as if the library itself sought to convey the tragic tales hidden within its ancient volumes. The Apparition Gallery was my next haunt. Portraits of the mansion's ill-fated residents shifted and transformed, their mournful eyes following my every move. Each image depicted a life cut short, and I could feel the weight of their unfinished stories pressing down on me. but it was in the Phantom's parlor that I encountered the mansion's enigmatic owner. Cloaked in mist and sorrow, he beckoned me to join him in his eternal solitude. His tale of love and loss was as haunting as it was tragic, and his presence left an indelible impression on my soul. As I staggered out of the Phantom Manor, I knew that I had ventured into a world where the boundaries between the living and the dead had dissolved. The legends of the mansion had become my reality, and I would forever be haunted by the memories of that chilling journey into the unknown. The Phantom Manor was more than a mere haunted house. It was a portal to a realm where the past and the present coexisted, and the spirits of the dead beckoned to the living. It was a night unlike any other when I made the haunting decision to venture into the heart of Pennsylvania and confront the sinister secrets of the Whispering Hollow Mansion. The tales that swirled around this macabre abode were enough to send even the bravest souls fleeing, but I was driven by an insatiable desire for an unforgettable thrill. As I approached the foreboding mansion, the heavens themselves seemed to conspire against me. The mansion stood like a dark sentinel, casting long, gnarled shadows that clawed at my very soul. It had once been the domain of the enigmatic Sinclair family, a lineage tarnished by tales of unspeakable horrors. The mansion bore witness to inexplicable disappearances and unholy rituals, a history steeped in malevolence that clung to it like a curse. The heavy oak door groaned in protest as I entered, and with each step into the darkness, I felt an almost palpable sense of dread closing in around me. The flickering candles that lined the entryway beckoned me further into the abyss, their feeble light revealing nothing but the oppressive darkness that lay ahead. An eerie chorus of whispers filled the air, like the collective lament of tormented souls begging me to flee. My journey through the Whispering Hollow Mansion was a descent into the depths of madness itself. The Sinclair nursery greeted me first, where the laughter of ghostly children echoed through the air. But there were no children to be seen, only eerily animated vintage toys that danced and played of their own accord, their movements as unnatural as the chill that settled in my bones. In the unholy chapel, I became an unwilling witness to a malevolent reenactment of the Sinclairs' blasphemous rituals. The air grew thick with an oppressive darkness, and shadowy figures danced in the flickering candlelight, their movements a grotesque homage to some otherworldly deity. I was trapped in a nightmare, unable to avert my gaze from the horrors that played out before me. The apex of my ordeal came in the Sinclair Seance. Within the room filled with ethereal whispers and eerie incantations, I felt an otherworldly presence closing in around me. The spirits of the Sinclair family seemed to reach out from beyond the grave, their mournful cries and spectral forms leaving me in a state of sheer, unbridled darkness marked the end of my odyssey. I was guided through a labyrinthine corridor where reality and the supernatural danced a macabre waltz. As I stumbled out into the stormy night, I was trembling and haunted by the horrors I had borne witness to. The Whispering Hollow Mansion was more than just a haunted house attraction. It was an immersive plunge into a realm where the lines between the living and the dead blurred and the veil between the mundane and the supernatural dissolved. The legends of the Sinclair family had become my stark reality, and their malevolence would continue to haunt my nightmares. The mansion had granted me a chilling glimpse into the abyss of darkness, and I knew that I could never be the same again.